You ever wonder how people actually get wealthy? And I'm not talking about lottery winners or trust fund kids. I mean the people who really build it themselves. It feels like we're always shown the shiny toys, the symbols of wealth. But the actual blueprints, they're kind of hidden away. Well, today, we're going to find those blueprints. We're going to cut through all the noise and uncover the 3, and only 3, fundamental paths to building real wealth. Let's get into it.
It's such a simple statement, right? But it's really at the heart of so many of our goals. We all want that financial freedom, but the roadmap to get there is so often just cluttered with myths and a ton of misinformation. So let's start by just clearing some of that fog. To find the real signal, you have to tune out all the static. So let's start by stripping away all those common distractions that just end up hiding the real mechanics of how wealth is built. First thing to go, that endless stream of rise and grind motivational quotes. Look, they're like a shot of caffeine, right? A temporary boost for sure, but they're not going to build you a business and they're definitely not going to pay your mortgage. We need a real strategy, not just a catchy slogan. Next, we've got to ignore the highlight reel. You know what I'm talking about, the fancy cars, the sprawling mansions. These are the results of wealth, not the process. Obsessing over them is like trying to win a marathon by just staring at the gold medal. It's completely useless without the actual training plan. And finally, probably the biggest distraction of them all, the social media fantasy, that perfectly curated feed of someone living their best life on a yacht somewhere. It's just a mirage. Real wealth, the kind that lasts, is built in the messy, unglamorous, day-to-day stuff, not in some filtered photo. So when you actually strip away all the motivational fluff, all the status symbols, and the social media illusions, what's really left? What's the secret? Well, it all boils down to a single, really powerful number. And this is it. This is the core principle. Getting wealthy isn't about some 1,000 different get-rich-quick schemes. No, it's built on 3 fundamental pillars. These are the blueprints, the proven paths that pretty much every self-made millionaire has walked down. So pillar number 1, build the machine. This is the path of the entrepreneur, the creator. It's the one we hear about all the time, but it's also probably the most grueling. See, you're not just some cog in the machine here. You are the architect, the engineer, and the mechanic all rolled into one. You're building the entire system from the ground up. This slide tells the whole story. A salary is linear. You trade your time for money. It's a steady climb, which is fine. But ownership, that's exponential. It's like a rocket ship. The business itself becomes a value-generating asset that works for you even when you're sleeping. And this is the key insight. Founders aren't just really well-paid employees. Their true wealth doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from their equity. They own the engine, so they get a piece of everything that engine produces. But, and this is a huge but, not all businesses are wealth machines. To really build wealth, you've got to have leverage. And that means your business needs 3 things. 1, it has to be scalable, meaning it can grow without you personally doing all the work. 2, it needs to be systematized, so it can run without your constant micromanagement. And 3, you have to own a significant chunk of it. If you don't have those 3 things, you don't really have a business. You just have a very, very demanding job. Okay, so what if the idea of building a business from scratch sounds, well, completely exhausting? That brings us to pillar number 2, buy the machine. Instead of creating the engine yourself, you just buy shares in engines that are already up and running and proven to work. This entire path runs on a force that Albert Einstein supposedly called the 8th wonder of the world, compounding. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. Your money makes money, and then the money that your money made starts making its own money. It's like a financial snowball rolling downhill. This is exactly why so many people give up on investing. In the early years, the growth is almost invisible. An 8% return on a small investment just feels insignificant. But just look at what happens over time. That gentle little curve starts to steepen, and what began as a tiny spark quietly grows into a roaring bonfire of wealth. So, the secret here isn't about being some Wall Street genius or having a crystal ball to predict the future. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The magic ingredient is just consistency, buying good assets and then giving them decades to work their magic. All right, so what if you're not ready to build a company and you don't have a big pile of cash to invest? Well, this brings us to our 3rd and final pillar, enter the system. This one is all about leveraging an existing system to build your own wealth. This is basically the specialist's playbook. Step 1, you develop a really high-value skill in a lucrative field. Think tech, finance, or specialized sales. Step 2, you use that skill to earn a significant income, and this is key, you live below your means to create a surplus. And then step 3, the most important one, you systematically convert that surplus into assets. You're basically using your high income to execute the strategy from pillar 2. And this is the ultimate goal of this path. You start out by trading your valuable time for a high income, but over time, you build a portfolio of assets that starts working for you. Eventually, you hit this amazing tipping point where your assets are earning more than your job does. You've done it. You've successfully transitioned from earning a living to your money earning a living for you.
So we've got 3 really distinct paths, right? The builder, the buyer, and the specialist. On the surface, they look pretty different. But underneath it all, they share the exact same fundamental DNA. They all operate under one golden rule. So let's connect the dots here. You have the entrepreneur who builds a company from scratch, the patient investor who buys stocks, and the highly paid professional who converts their salary into assets. What's the common denominator? What's the one thing that they all have in common?
And here it is. This is the ultimate truth of wealth creation. It is not about who works the hardest. It's about who owns the system. Whether you build that system yourself, buy little pieces of it, or leverage your own skills to acquire your share, the game is won through ownership. So really, the only question left to ask is, which path are you going to choose?